Thank you so much. Welcome, Sister Nidhi.
Thank you, Bhavna. Thank you so much. And a big welcome to everyone who's joined us online today. And it's a great pleasure to be with everyone this evening with a very interesting subject. I think all of us at every moment in our life know what past is, right? And life has shaped us like that. Um, I think just 2 minutes ago, whatever Bhavna was sharing, now it's past. It's gone. Right? And so much happens with us in our lives, in our journey. Sometimes it gives us pleasure, sometimes it gives us pain. But when it comes to past, a question for everyone to think. Every time I go into my memory lane, imagining, visualizing, reliving my past, what is the feeling that I experience in present? What is the feeling? Anyone? Every time you think about anything, it could be a happy moment, it could be a sad moment, it could be a moment of regret, it could be a moment of loss, it could be a moment of anything. If I go into my past, what do I start feel in the present moment? Anyone?
Anxiety.
Anxiety. Okay. What else?
Hi, Nidhi. It could be, it's a good moment and you feel so happy about some situation or experience you've had in the past and memories. So, you could feel happy as well.
Yeah. How long that happiness stays when that happiness is derived from past?
Not long, because suddenly, in a little while, something else, you've gone in the past and something else could have happened many years ago. We don't know where it just comes up. And then you say, what? You were feeling okay, 1 minute, and the next minute, this.
Absolutely.
So it's like kind of roller coaster kind of situation.
Correct. Correct. What else? What else do we feel? Feel anxious, you feel uncertain, happy moment, next moment is sad.
Confused as well, I suppose, because
confused. Yeah.
Confusion and what am I going to do? Like clarity in your thinking. So okay, because you're getting bombarded, things are happening, like or situation coming to you, and then you felt bad already about some past, remembering the past, and then it's kind of like you feel so drained out.
Absolutely.
As well.
And there's something in the chat box saying, which means actually regret. I could have done it better. That it could be another way. Okay, that's my thought, but my feeling. If I go down, 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 deep, deep, just to understand what I'm feeling, even if I'm thinking of a happy moment, and then next moment there might be comparison that I don't have that happy moments anymore in my life. Right? And that thought that I don't have it anymore in my life, what does that make me feel?
That will say why.
Yeah. There's one word that we connect with the past, and that word is pain. Pain and sadness, absolutely. Every time you go in the memory track, either it's happy, it's sad, it's regret, it's guilt, but eventually what I'll start feeling is pain. And every time my mind or my thoughts wander into my future, it's a moment of anxiousness, fear. What's going to happen next? I think that's what you shared as well. What am I going to do now? That's that uncertainty. And very often, if you observe, our mind has a tendency, in olden days, there was a clock called pendulum clock. It used to go tick, 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 tick. And so
Mm.
does our minds too. They go from past to future, past to future, past to future. And my life is experiencing, and I in the middle experience either moments related, different intensity of pain, or in different intensity of fear and uncertainty. What we practice here is to pause that and allow it to stabilize in the middle, which is the present. And the moment I learn how to be in this present moment, I've actually made peace with my past, right? And today, the whole journey that we are going to have with us, another 45 minutes, it's about understanding how I can make peace with my past. I think every one of us who's present today wants to have that, isn't it?
Definitely.
There's so many things have happened in our journey in last 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. And today, absolutely everything is fine in my life. But that incident that has happened 10 years ago,
Mm.
or 40 years ago, or even in my childhood is still bothering me. It's still, there's some blockage that's not allowing me to be who I am or the way I would want to live my life. So, we're going to discuss different aspects of it today. And I'm going to share something with you all. What does it really mean to make peace with my past? A, I have to understand what past is. And when Bhavna was introducing, she said, is letting go the best option? Yes, we all know, but how easy it is to let go.
Mm.
Do you agree it's easy to say, okay, let go, gone, finished, done, over, put a full stop? Does it really happen? Is
No.
that easier? Like as we say, it actually doesn't. It comes back. Instead of
Yes.
putting a full stop, we put a comma and it's like dot, 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 and it comes back again and again, and we start reliving, and the same story is replayed.
Yeah,
Right?
and I get very upset then as well.
Absolutely. So we're going to try today to understand what it means, what past really is, what is the characteristic of past, why does past actually exist? How do I let go of it? How do I find my inner happiness in this present moment? So you ready for that journey?
Mm-hmm.
Let's understand what past exactly means. Uh, as I said, this moment past is gone, right? Something that has passed, something that has gone by, uh, which is not existing anymore. That is past. It could be 10 years ago, it could be 10 microseconds ago, but it's gone. It's not in my hand anymore. It's done, right? The events, my experiences, moments, which have already occurred. That is what we call past. Now, what does this past actually do? Past is like a seed that shapes my future, that shapes my present. But it's not the mold. It's very interesting. Past is a field where I can sow seeds, but my attitude, it's the mold that helps my life take a shape. Past would definitely influence it, but my attitude will enhance it. So normally we think that past is very, you know, trauma, traumatizing of, mortifying and things like that. But what we miss is my attitude towards the past. Past is past. It's just a fact. It's just an event. What I'm doing with it, how I'm dealing with it, my attitude, it's a very important ingredient in my life. And how am I dealing with it? What is my perception? What is my relationship with past is very important. Like, say, for example, you have someone in your life and that relationship is not going on good. What do? You sit with them, you talk to them, you have a conversation, you spend some time, you invest something. How much do I invest in my past? How much? I invest my time, I invest my energy, I invest my emotions by thinking about it, by reliving it, by analyzing it. But do I invest my wisdom? And it's a very interesting thing
You
that
feel
when
like trapped in the past. That's the thing.
exactly. So when I invest my wisdom, I'll be free from the trap of past. But if I'm going to invest my emotion, it's going to trap me even more. Now, interesting thing is, the more I invest my wisdom, my emotions get free. And it gives me space to breathe. It gives me life. So past is very, very beautiful thing that we have. And our conscious minds are such that they forget majority of the moments that have occurred in past. Like, say, for example, do you remember the first word Bhavna spoke? No. Do you remember the first word I shared? No. But you might remember the feeling that you are having right now and the concepts I'm talking about. So our conscious mind is trained to forget the past. You know why? Because we don't need it. What our mind remembers is things that I have allowed to touch me, to analyze, to feel, and it's gone deep into my memory track. And what I've experienced, that stays with me. Past doesn't stay with me. My experiences and the involvement of my emotion, that stays with me. That becomes my memory. Right? That's event or situation really does not matter. How I have felt, what people told me, what I really went through that journey, that process, that stays with me. Do you agree with me? Does
Yeah,
that
it's like the reaction to the situation, I suppose, and what in response to all these things happening, the way I spoke or the way the person spoke to me, like those are the things
correct? So
that would.
what is staying with me is my own thoughts with connected with that situation. The situation is already finished. The situation is already gone. Say, for example, um, this morning, I've got a little cut and I was chopping vegetables and a little cut was happened, right? Let's say, for example, somebody just came into the kitchen and they didn't know I'm chopping vegetables, and I don't have a very good terms with this person, just hypothetically, right? And this person came, said something, and just tried to do something, and whilst they were moving, their elbow hit me and I got a cut, right? Now, 5 minutes later, that's passed. But every time I'm seeing this cut, what should be my first response to this cut? The moment my finger got cut, what am I supposed to do?
Blaming the other one.
No, I won't do that first. It's bleeding. What am I supposed to do?
Oh, I see. Okay, in that sense. Okay, of course you put stop
Remembering
the
that person who done it.
Correct. What will I do is I'll press it hard so that
bleeding.
it does not spill over. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to heal the wound. And then let's say you come into the room and you ask me, hey, what happened? And very innocently, I'm going to share exactly what happened. This person came, I had this knife in my hand. This person said something to me, and his elbow touched me, and this knife went like this. And I'm showing you. Now, what's going to happen to my finger? It was a small cut. I'm now replaying it, showing you again by putting that cut again. Now that small cut is going to become a slightly bigger cut, right? And then again, you are trying to hold it and trying to press it and things like that. And then third person comes, fourth person comes, and I'm going to replay, I'm going to do, by the end of the day, what's going to happen to my finger?
Cut will be deeper and you feel the pain
Maybe
more.
I've chopped off my finger completely showing, right? And then somebody comes and tells me and asks me, who chopped off your finger? Where did your finger go? And I'm like, that person came, his elbow touched me and my finger got chopped. It's all his fault. Now, who actually cut my finger?
I mean, it's you were cutting, it's you.
It's me. Do we do the same thing in our lives? Just think about it. Something has happened. Somebody said something to me this morning and has left. That person doesn't even realize what he said, right? Back home, I am thinking, this person reacted this way. How can this person talk to me like this? And my mood is upset now. Three people ask me, I repeat it, I share, and now at the end of the day, who that person said once and has gone. How many times I repeated that to myself?
Several times.
If that person insulted me once, how many times I have insulted myself repeating it several times?
Many times.
And if I am feeling low, who is actually responsible for this?
Before I would say it's because, but now the way you explaining, you would say because you're doing it yourself.
Correct.
Repeatedly by reliving that moment and talking about it to everyone over and over again.
So I am infusing, I am accelerating, I am enhancing and putting more weightage to my own pain. It's not my past, it's not the people, but what I'm doing in the present is actually shaping me right now and creating my mood right now. And that's why people say, you must have heard this phrase very often, just let it go. Let it go in this moment, and make peace with it. And why do I want to make peace with it? Why is it important? For few reasons. The very first and most important reason is for my own growth, for my happiness. What am I creating inside? What is it making me feel now? If it's not making me feel happy, it's not healthy. Like the food we eat, we make sure that we eat food that helps us maintain our health. So the thought I think, am I aware that are these thoughts making me happy and healthy? So my personal growth and my personal happiness is crucial. The other thing that comes to my mind is if I'm going to hold on to something, the consequences of it, who has to face them? It's me. I'm going to get weaker because I'm not having healthy food, healthy diet, emotionally and consciously. In my thought level, my feelings level, my emotional level, my vibrational level, I'm becoming weaker and weaker. How many times you have felt that every time you've gone back into past, you've thought something, you feel weak, you feel drained out, you feel tired, right? And in that moment of weakness, in that moment of tiredness, if I'm going to take any decision or if I'm going to do any act, will I be happy about it or would I have to regret about it? And then I'm weak. B, I'm feeling guilty. There's a bag of regret. And 3, I'm saying, oh, my life is very unfair because I can't blame anybody else. We put things on life.
No, you will not be able to make, clear decisions you want.
Correct.
Because you can't think clearly in that frame of mind.
And what I experience is emotional distress. And what I'm just not me, but if I am emotionally distressed, people around me are not going to be happy because they love me. They're with me. And what about the attachments that I'm holding on to? If even if like say most of us do wear rings, right? When you remove your ring, there is a mark. What? It's the same way when I'm holding on to something, it's going to leave a scar on the soul, in my heart, in my way of my life. So it's very important for me to let go and make peace with it. The other thing is, why do I really want it? Why? I want it to stop affecting me. Don't we?
Yeah.
Something in the past that happens is still affecting me and not allowing me to be happy. I want to stop that. I want to take my power back. I don't want to be upset all the time. And sometimes we don't realize things are okay, but we are feeling upset without any reason. There's something I don't know. I can't pinpoint, but I'm not happy about it. I'm just feeling upset. My mood is not right. Something is bothering me, underlining, but I don't know. I can't identify it because there's so much going on inside this little head, right? Affecting, upsetting, influencing. I want it to stop. And finally, I want myself to allow myself to grow. Boiling it down to the same point again. Do you agree with me?
Totally.
Totally. So I've got some
Totally.
simple steps that will allow me to grow and allow my past to stop affecting me, upsetting me, or influencing me. Simple 4 steps. Are you ready to note them? Are you ready to experiment with them? Can
Yeah.
we try that out? So let's
Yes.
understand what past is. Let's start from P, right? If I want to make peace with my past, if I really want to understand uh, my past, let's start from P, which means personal assessment and acceptance. My past can only bother me if I've not accepted it, if I am rejecting it, if I am trying to negate it, if I'm trying to negotiate with it, if I'm trying to say, oh, no, no, this should not be like this has to be like, it's gone, it's done, it's dusted. I'm still negotiating, I'm still justifying, I'm not accepting it.
Yeah,
So,
like lots of resistance, isn't it,
correct.
Nidhi?
Correct. So, let me start. How do I do that? And the first 2 steps to accept and assess, the very first step is to acknowledge. Yes, it is my journey and I've gone through this and this has happened with me. I don't have to reject it. I don't have to deny it. I don't have to feel ashamed of it. I don't have to feel, why me? It's okay. It's happened. It's happened. It's happened. So the moment I recognize that the past has happened and I cannot change it, I start accepting it. That's the moment I accept, it's my first step forward. Yeah. The other thing is allow myself to process. Sometimes what happens is when we experience a loss or a pain in the past, we don't give ourselves enough space to process it. We try to be superwomen's and supermen's and everything is okay with me. We don't allow ourselves to be vulnerable. And even if we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we don't face it. We try to seek support from others when we are vulnerable, which is fine. Which is fine. I can express myself, I can talk to someone, I can seek professional help, fine. Or I can just sit with myself and understand. But allow yourself to process it. What we often do is sometimes we think we are processing it, but actually we are just staying with it.
Nidhi, there's one thing, like say, for example, even if it's painful and you don't want to do anything about, you get into that comfort kind of zone, and to step outside of it is like big effort. So there is other side to this, you see. So you get again sort of like stuck in this.
We stay with it because we feel we are victimized. And we
Mm.
go into that victim zone. Like, this has happened with me. and because there's very interesting thing, if you just step back and observe as a third person your own self. I'm sharing this from personal experience, that when we go into that victim zone, we feel good about ourselves. Very interesting. Why we feel good about ourselves is because we think this person did this to me. I am like a very good person and I'm tolerating this. And I'm seeing the strength that I have, and that is giving me a little bit of self worth. Even though I'm not happy with it, I'm liking it because A, I'm getting attention of other people. B, I'm thinking I'm doing something good by tolerating it. C, I don't know what else to do. So, better be in this situation, right? And I'm thinking I'm processing it, but no, I'm not processing it. I'm just sitting with it. I'm just allowing it to be my buddy, which is not a healthy company anyway, right? So, what does it mean to process? To process means to be aware. And that is our second step, is A, awareness. So every time my past is showing up, every time it's coming up, let me be very present and let me be aware. What are the triggers? What is it that I'm attached to with this? What is it that this is giving me? What am I gaining for this? I have to be totally be with it and to understand it. So the first step is to create the attitude of understanding why this has happened. And then Brahma Kumaris, I don't know if you've done the 7 days course. If you haven't, I would recommend you to do it. But there is a whole session on understanding the law of karmas and what karma is coming and what is the seed and what is the result and what is the consequences and why it has come to me. A lot of clarity is there in that understanding. And if there is a trigger, every trigger comes with an attachment. So, what attachment am I holding? What is it triggering? I have to understand. Once I understand, it's easy to accept. Every time, it's a human nature. It's difficult for us to accept things when we don't know the truth. The moment we know the truth, it's easy for us to accept. Have you come across that? Somebody tells you something you're not convinced, you'll not accept it. The moment you get convinced, now this is the truth, you accept it. Right? So for us, we have to understand, we have to go to the truth. And that's where I'm saying investing wisdom, investing my right attitude. And very important, once I've understood it, I have to practice self-compassion. Because most of the time, we have the tendency as human to be self-critical, to blame ourselves, and allow ourselves to go into that moment where we think we're not worthy enough. We don't deserve enough. I can't do this. So instead of processing and moving forward, we often move backwards. And that's why many of us go into depression or hit our rock bottom. So it's important that I allow that it will take time to heal. I accept it, I process it, and I tell myself it's okay. And then that emotions that I've created, that experiences I've created, I'm sure I'm holding on to some kind of painful moments. I need to release it. And that's where I have to release all that things that I'm holding on to. I have to release. And how do I release those attachments? By understanding it's done, by understanding this is not me, by understanding I need to create space for new experiences, because that's life. Life is new every day, and I have to respect that newness in my life. And once I understand that, it becomes easy for me to release what I'm holding on to, because my attention is not on releasing things, my attention is welcoming new things. And when I shift that attitude of welcoming new experiences, having that newness, having an open approach to life, past automatically starts releasing itself. right? And then the third step is about, when I'm talking about releasing attachments, it's not easy, is it? Is it easy to let go of something that you dearly and nearly hold on to, that you really love? No. And we love our past. We love being sad. We've created an emotional pattern within ourselves. So it's important for me to separate myself and to understand I am not my actions. It's very important to disidentify myself. And that's where the third step comes of self reflection, of understanding that who I truly am. Again, I'm coming back to the 7 days course, and it's the first lesson we have. It's knowing yourself. If I don't know myself, my actions, my past, people's voices, let go just of past. How many times our heads are filled with what other people think about myself? Other people's opinion, other people's identity, other people's vision, their judgment, they all come into my head again and again. So my past is influencing, the society is influencing, where am I? Who am I? Very important to understand that. Very important to know my real identity. And separating myself from the labels I have given to myself, the roles that I've given to myself, and be free from that first. And then the second step is to connect to the source. So I understand who I am, and now I take the strength. Once I connect to the source, you call it God, you call it divine, you call it the higher power, you call it the supreme. But we do have a relationship with time and the higher self. So when I start connecting myself to the supreme, I start allowing the soul to heal and to strengthen its own self. And then it's easier for me to focus because now I'm empowered. Now I've got the strength to be in this moment. I'm not slave to my mindset that keeps on wavering between the past and future. I get the strength to be in this present moment. And when I do that, my thought changes, my pattern changes, my attitude changes, and that gives rise to positivity. That gives rise to the right beliefs that I hold for myself. And then once I've started doing that, it's important for me to take the last step. And that step, which is very interesting, is coming back one step. When I'm saying positive thoughts and positive belief, every time an incident that has hurt me deeply, it could be a betrayal. These things bother us, right? Really. Betrayal or loss of somebody or bereavement or wanted to do something and could not do, regrets, and these kind of things. And when we experience these things or expectations are not fulfilled, some disappointments, all those things, right? Or wanting to relive and not being able to do that. These things bother us majoritarily in the past. Once I've experienced that, we don't realize, but we start creating patterns. We start creating beliefs. We start creating things and we start believing in them. And these thought patterns define my mood. So every time I don't have a right mood, check my thoughts. And you'll see that thoughts are not going in the right direction anyway. Right? So when I know my identity of a soul, I become detached from the labels and I connect to the supreme soul. I get that strength. And then I'm able to stop that vicious cycle of negative thoughts. I'm able to pause that and create new beliefs for myself. And once I'm able to do that, then I can go on to the other step, the final step. That's T, PAST, right? And that is transformation. change. And how do I transform? We talk a lot about meditation, and I think we'll be doing meditation at the end. Then hundreds of meditation, breath meditation, kindness meditation, loving meditation. What we do here is Raj Yoga meditation. A Raj Yoga meditation allows me to be the master of myself and makes me realize what my worth is and the strength that I have for myself. But I can do that. But along with that, it's important for me to experience and execute a virtue of forgiveness. Not to forgive other people. I know it's difficult, but can I forgive myself? First and foremost. Remember the first example that I gave you in the beginning about one person cutting my finger a little bit, but then me replaying it and cutting it again and again and chopping it off completely? What have I done to myself? If I look at myself, what have I done to myself? Why am I doing this to myself? Can I forgive myself and say it's okay? Yes, I was not aware, I was naive, things happened. It's fine. Can I transform it from today? Can I start fresh? So, forgiveness will help me heal and liberate me from all the bondages that are holding me back. When I'm able to forgive myself, I'm able to forgive others. And forgiveness is freedom. And if I really want to make a peace with my past, I have to experience freedom. Because past is a bondage. Peace is freedom. And to experience peace, to experience freedom, I have to be powerful enough to understand what I'm doing in the present. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes.
Yeah? Yeah?
Yeah.
And how do we do this? So you can try any ways, any forms. You can do the course, you can start journaling, you can start reflecting, other ways that allow you to express and release what we are holding on within ourselves. And set some goals for yourself. Envision your future because you create your future. Right? You design your destiny with one T, and that T is thought. I create my thoughts create my emotions, my feelings, they create my future, my destiny. So if I'm uncertain about my future, then let me be certain about my present. And the moment I become certain about my present, my future is secure. I don't have to worry about it. Because I'm sowing the right seeds in present. And guess what? If my present is powerful, 10 minutes in future, when I reach and I look back, my last 10 minutes are powerful. My past becomes powerful. Right? So let me focus on my thoughts. Let me focus on what I'm creating in this moment and how is it shaping my present. Stop sharing here. And I open the floor for some question and answer before we go for our little meditation today evening. I know time has gone pretty quick and it's time to conclude now. But yeah, anyone, any questions?
My laptop, I'm having problem with the charger, I think. It just switched off completely and I've come on. If it happens, sorry, I apologize. But for me, it's like, like you mentioned about like when you write it down about what happened and you want to let go the past. So when you reflect, you don't just write about what exactly happened in the past. You just want to know how you can change it, right? Is it how you can move
when you
forward?
do journaling, don't be logical. Journaling is not about thinking what it could be or how it could be, or Journaling means you are taking a pen, you're taking a paper, you're not thinking, right? You're not thinking. You just start writing whatever comes. Don't worry, don't censorize it or don't use logic in it. Just allow your inner self to express, to release. Don't worry about the grammar, don't worry about the spelling. Just if I asked you to take a pen and paper for next 10 minutes and start writing, and you don't have to stop. Whatever comes in your mind, just write. Don't pause for even 1 microsecond. Keep writing, keep writing, keep writing, and you'll release a lot of stuff. And you don't even need to read it. You just throw
Throw
it,
it away.
win it,
Yeah.
right? But what happens, I'll share my personal experience with you. When I first started when I first journaled something, I was feeling very low. I don't know why, but there was a moment where I was feeling a bit low. And I thought, I'm having a lot of negative thoughts. I'm holding on to a lot of things. So let me just release it. And I took a pen and a paper and I started writing. Guess what? I wrote everything positive. Everything positive. And then I'm thinking, oh dear, what am I actually doing? So the truth is something else, but it's my ego who wants to experience and tell me that a happy life is not a normal life because everybody around you is not happy. So you meant to be sad. So it's creating an illusion which is not there at all, right? And many a times we create things in our mind which don't hold any existence, any weightage. And that could be a mirror for you to say, oh, this is all crap that I'm thinking, just wasting my time. And that moment it disappears. So past normally triggers our vices. It could be my attachment, my ego, my greed, or my disappointments, or something like that. But when you start writing, when you're practicing meditation, when you're becoming soul conscious, when you're becoming aware, you will realize that the things that I'm thinking are all illusion. They have got nothing truth in it. No matter how big the loss is, no matter how big um, situation I've faced, but I've faced it. I've gone through it. I'm over it. It's finished. I've withstood it. There was strength in me, but my ego tells me I'm weak. You know? So uh, the more aware I become about myself, I realize that we are not what we think. We are much more than what we think we are. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It's just that you have to, as you say, just spill it all out in writing or whatever. Just
And
go.
also
And
be
you
aware,
found,
also be sorry for pausing you, but also be aware about where are you spilling and how much are you spilling.
Mm.
Because I don't have to go and vomit it everywhere and anywhere. You know, because that's again going to become my past and future. That's again going to shape my identity. I have to have that relationship with myself, that friendship with myself. So if I want to deal with my past, let me be friends. Let me develop that relationship for myself and with the Supreme. Anybody else has any other question?
Sister Nidhi, Om Shanti, this has
Om
been very helpful. It's been very well systematically placed. I just have to make a statement that I feel that when you're more sensitive and you're a seeker of goodness, we tend to be more affected by these factors than anybody else, right? Because the careless people are happy and going about their business. So, any tips for those sensitive people? Because when I take one action, I see how it's going to affect 5 or 6 people around me, and I try to make sure I tiptoe around it. But sometimes it just pulls you back when you try to keep everyone happy, right? So, any sensitive tips there for people who are trying to do the best and the right things?
A, if I'm happy, everybody around me is happy. Right? B, if I'm considerate and I know I'm going to give my best, I just do it. Why? I'll explain to you. I mean, it sounds very straightforward, but it has a reason behind behind what I'm saying is, even if I try and consider everybody's emotion, and give my best, I cannot control what they feel and how they feel and what they will bring out of it. If somebody is not in the right mood, if somebody does not want to feel right, they will not feel right even if I'm doing right. Right?
Got it.
And
Yeah.
I am not in charge, or I am not responsible for anybody else's emotions. They are responsible for what they feel. So as long as I know my intention is right, my course of action is right, and my purpose is right, I'm good with it.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. That's helpful. But everyone sends you vibrations, right? So we have to try to protect ourselves from that. But I've taken the 7-day course with Upton, but that's been very good. Thank you so much.
Yeah. People send vibrations, but I am powerful enough with the company of the Supreme, and nothing else can protect me. The only thing that can protect me is A, my positive attitude, B, my relationship with the Supreme Energy.
It's beautiful. Thank you.
I would invite everyone to just prioritize yourself for next couple of minutes. Just see yourself free. Just see yourself without any labels of roles, responsibility, of identity, even gender. Just see yourself as a point of light, your truth of who I truly am. And take a deep breath in and just accept yourself as you are and the way you are. Thank yourself. Thank your past for allowing you to be where you are in this moment in the journey of life. My experiences, my memories, thought of gratitude towards them. There's a lot of learning, a lot of growth. As I see my past with the lens of wisdom, as I take a deep breath in, and as I breathe out, I tell myself and I feel that I'm releasing everything that's bothering me, and I'm allowing myself to be happy again. And as I take a deep breath in, I visualize myself surrounded in the cocoon of powerful vibrations of love, protection, belongingness of the Supreme Being. This is healing me. This is empowering me. I can feel the highest positive vibrations of Supreme around me, with me. I take a deep breath in and see my own self with respect. See my own self how powerful I am to go through this journey, despite of everything that's happened. I understand and recognize my self-worth. I allow myself to be free. I allow myself to be happy. And I see I have released all the things that I have been holding on to. Pains, my worries, resentments. And in this moment, in this now, I am free. I am a being of peace. Oh, Shanti.
Thank you so much, Sister Nidhi. It was so blissful. I wanted it to it was like going in a flow and it should go on, but just seeing the time, I have to stop now. Thank you so much. Just